Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to your reading for this time. You have this card. It says balance spirituality and practicality. You also have this card. It says surrender to the divine. So they both kind of say the same thing in a lot of ways, but I feel you are being guided at this time. And so I would trust your inner guidance system, or, this could represent trusting synchronicities, your dreams, your daydreams, things like that. You have the 10 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Swords. Gemini, this would represent doing things the hard way. So I kind of feel like your first route is saying you need to learn how, or you need to find a way to do things the easy way, or there is an easier way for you to do whatever you're trying to do. Like this could be work and business, it could be, pretty much anything. But I feel that some of you could be kind of like grinding at this time, and I feel this is encouraging you to stop the grind and start doing things in a different way. And that's what we're probably going to talk about here with this energy. But you have the 10 of Wands. 10 of Wands is carrying a heavy burden. I kind of like the 10 of Wands because he's burdened, but the story of the card is he planted those wands, and those wands represent his harvest. And he is about to reach his home in the background here, and he's about to have a harvest. So, is it really that bad of a card? Probably not. I would say I think that, in a lot of ways he's about to, release his burden, he's about to set himself free. So it really isn't that big of a deal. But, I definitely feel some of you are kind of in this like grind mode, or maybe life just feels like a grind in general. A very quick solution shows up here, which is the 6 of Pentacles. The 6 of Pentacles is about equal give and take, but with the 6 of Pentacles we need to pay very close attention to what's working. So he is holding a scale right here, kind of like the Justice card, and, he's giving to one person, not the other. So he is giving his energy to what works, not to what doesn't work. And I feel that's what you need to pay attention to here, especially if you're feeling like things are a grind, or if you're, if it feels like you're really trying to force things to happen. It's kind of funny, because, I'll say this. It's like kind of the energy I get here off of like the first 2 rows is like a very stubborn energy, where it's like no matter what you do, it's like you're not getting a better result. And this could be in any area of your life. It could be in work, it could be in business, your health, whatever. But it does just intuitively, I get a very stubborn feeling energy, right? And I feel if you could slow down, look at what you're working on and look at where you're trying to get results and really pay attention to what's actually, even if there's only something small that's working, right? Just double down on that and, keep doing that. And then I think that will lead to more things that you can do that work. You have the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords is also kind of a solution actually in this reading, because the 8 of Swords is, a card of self-imposed restriction. She is only seeing one way to solve her problem, when there are many ways that she could solve her problem. So the 8 of Swords says you need to be open to all the different ways of solving your problem. And if you stay open and flexible, then you'll solve your problem. And that's exactly what I would do here with the 8 of Swords, is I would stay flexible. Let's see what's going on for you here, Gemini. With the 10 of Wands, you have the Moon. I think this is also probably part of the problem. The thing with the Moon is it can represent fantasies, illusions, not seeing things clearly, secrets. It can also represent your emotions, and needing to let go of your emotional armor to be able to move forward and get to these mountains. The mountains can represent an obstacle, but they also represent an achievement. And so there's clearly something that you're trying to achieve here in this reading, but it's like you're not sure. The Moon is part of the Fool's journey. It's funny that we have the full moon on that full moon card that says surrender to the divine, right? And, this is part of the Fool's journey, and the whole point of the Moon is that he needs to get to those mountains no matter what. Because the moon comes up, the moon goes down, the sun comes up, eventually there will be clarity. So, there really is no good answer with the moon sometimes other than to just keep going towards your goal, and eventually there will be clarity. With the 6 of Pentacles, you have the Tower. Yeah, the Tower would actually also be a solution in this reading, because it's sometimes we just have to accept reality that something isn't working, right? Sometimes we have to say okay, the way that I'm trying to grow this business, or the way that I'm trying to find love, or the way that I'm trying to heal myself just isn't working. And we have to sometimes accept that uncomfortable reality. But, the whole point of the Tower is that once we accept reality, we can move forward. They are stuck in this tower, they have built these walls up around them, to protect themselves, but really they are just keeping themselves stuck. So, The first part of the reading feels stuck to me, like I've been saying. So I actually feel the Tower is a good thing in this reading because, it could say that there's some sort of revelation or idea that helps set you free. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is about focusing. He's grieving the loss of his taste for wine, and so he no longer enjoys wine, but he is sad because it once brought him joy. And so the Five of Cups is really about letting go of things that, no longer serve you, even though you might still think that you want those things, but really you don't. And so there could also be like a little bit of releasing going on here. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this koi fish spirit. It says you're manifesting more love, prosperity, and wealth into your life. There you go. You have a spirit world card. It says your spirit guides are sending you helpful people and opportunities your way. And you had that card that says balance spirituality and practicality on it. So I feel for a lot of you that it's like spirit is trying to guide you, but maybe you need to listen to those messages. Part of that message could be this Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with. Sometimes I feel we keep ourselves stuck by, focusing on something that we no longer have. And, the Tower and the Five of Cups definitely kind of say that to me here, Gemini, where it's like you could be focusing too much on something that you don't have, but without realizing that not having it is actually going to be a blessing. The Ten of Swords, he's making the symbol with his hands right here. And that symbol represents a blessing. So the Ten of Swords can say that something that you thought you wanted that isn't working out is actually a blessing that it's not working out for you. And maybe you don't see that right now. You definitely don't. You have the Moon card. The Moon. The Moon says you can't see, right? So you can't see this yet, but I feel like you will see in the future how something not working is actually a blessing. You have the Hermit. So the Hermit has climbed to the top of the mountains. I kind of feel this is a good thing for you because we have that Moon. And again, with the Moon card, the Fool, he has to climb to the top of the mountains. Now, the Hermit's journey is not necessarily easy. He has had to go through a dark night of the soul to get to the top of those mountains, but now he has found his inner light, which is going to help him on the rest of his journey. And again, with the Moon, we need light. So I feel for a lot of you that you could be discovering, through whatever journey you've been on, you could be discovering your inner light, or you could be discovering, something that helps guide you. You have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles kind of says, certain things that you should be working on to make progress. The Knight of Pentacles could easily plant seeds in this field behind him, and they would grow. So the Knight of Pentacles sometimes is like a little bit of an overthinker. He's kind of like overthinking his situation and he's not getting started. And so if you have any ideas or plans or thoughts on how you could improve your current situation, I would just start planting those seeds and kind of like see what happens. I kind of feel that you will be surprised with what happens. I also get like a little bit of this, just based off the whole reading, taking everything into account, I get a little bit of this like light switch energy where it's like all of a sudden, things start working for you. But like, I don't want that to sound better than it actually is, because I feel you're going to have to like experiment and try new things in life, to flip that light switch, if that makes sense. Like, it's not going to be the first thing you try that's going to, improve your situation. I feel you have to try a couple things. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Six of Cups. I would be very careful of the past. A lot of people have been getting this. And you know what I would say, especially if someone has stabbed you in the back, here's the thing that I will say: past people could really be feeling the pain that they caused, or, they could really be feeling the missing out part of you, right? And so what I would say is with the Ten of Swords, if someone stabbed you in the back, I would be careful. And I've told other signs this as well, and, it takes a long time for astrology to kind of like for us to feel the energy, right? So the North Node just moved into Pisces, and as we move through this time period, it's like the North Node and South Node are moving more into Pisces and Virgo. And, it's going to be moving more in. And so maybe this is when we really feel the energy of the North Node in Pisces, since the Sun will also be in Pisces a bit later on. And, it's just something I would think about, And I would be very careful of allowing anyone back from the past. With the Hermit, you have the Page of Swords. I would follow your curiosity. I mean, to me, this is Gemini's nature. I think Gemini is very good at being curious about ideas, exploring both sides of the idea, and then implementing whatever they learned, and that's it. That's what I would do. I would follow your curiosity and just be a Gemini. That's it. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the King of Pentacles. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, King of Pentacles is a card of wealth and establishment, so a lot of you could be working on establishing yourself in life. We also have the King and Queen of Pentacles, which are divine counterparts. I don't really feel like this is a love reading. I kind of feel like you are using these two energies together. So I feel this is saying that, yeah, these are divine counterparts in the sense that you are using both energies to improve your situation, probably financially, obviously. And the King of Pentacles, again, is like establishing something in your life. Queen of Pentacles is about using your resources. And so I think as long as you mix those two energies together, you will be more successful. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Yin Energy card and this Milk and Honey card. The Yin Energy card is more of like a passive energy. It is, resting, relaxing, recovering, taking care of yourself. The Milk and Honey card is about enjoying life. And the Milk and Honey card can be good and bad. So it can be good because, again, it says that you're enjoying life. It can be bad if you're enjoying life too much, right? It basically says don't get high on your own supply. So as long as you're not doing that, I feel pretty good about it. I think that, we see a lot of improvements in this third row where you have the Eight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. We'll see what happens when we clarify, but I kind of feel that you are creating improvements, and so there could be more enjoyable energy coming in. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands says don't give up. I feel a lot of people, it's kind of like we have maybe like a little bit over a year where we really should take a step towards our dream. And the reason I always talk about this, and people always say, you say this every reading, I'm like, well, why haven't you done it yet then? Right? We have Neptune in Pisces, and so Neptune will move into Aries, but it will retrograde back into Pisces later on. And then, it starts moving forward again after that. But basically Neptune in Pisces is the big impossible dream. Normally, with Neptune in Pisces, we're probably not going to accomplish our big impossible dream, right? We can definitely, manifest other dreams, but not the big impossible one, right? But we have Saturn in Pisces as well at the same time. If there was ever a time where I think people should do something to, put down, it's almost like, gold miners, they used to stake their claim, right? And I think that's what everyone should be doing right now, is staking their claim on their dream. And so that means you need to take those first few steps to get started, even if it feels impossible, right? You need to do something to try to manifest your dream. Because again, if there was ever a time and this is your last chance where you could manifest something great, it's right now. And it's not going to be easy. When you think about it, gold miners, there's an old saying in gold mining, you have to move a lot of dirt to get to the gold. So you're definitely going to have to do the work. But if there was ever a time where you could, as long as you stake your claim right now, that's the analogy I'm going to use, then it doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. Because again, we have Neptune in Pisces for a little bit longer, and I would do it under Neptune in Pisces or just during this period in general. Even though Neptune will move into Aries, it's a big slow-moving planet. The energy doesn't change overnight. So again, I think you have this period, maybe even longer, where you could really kind of ground something in reality. You have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles says you have more than enough resources to do it. And you might be saying, I have no money. What are you talking about? You don't need money with the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles kind of says she wants to do something, and she will find a way whether she has the money or not. She will use her resources. Her resources could be anything, could be time, effort, energy, her attention, could be anything. So I think you need to use your resources. You also have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of P kind of says you've done the work already, whether you realize it or not, Eight of Pentacles is mastering your craft in diligent work. He is working diligently to accomplish his goal. So I think that, and I always say that Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon, but it could say you're accomplishing your goal in the future because you've already done a lot of work whether you realize it or not. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. Yes, I definitely feel you need to protect yourself from a past person here. Three of Swords I don't think is really that bad of a card. I know some people say it's heartbreak and all this other stuff, but, the true meaning of the Three of Swords is forgiveness. We have to remove those swords from our heart and forgive the past, but that doesn't mean we go back to the past. It means we forgive the past and move on. But I would definitely be careful of a past person. With the Six of Queen of Pentacles, you have the Six of Wands. Six of Wands is success or a victory. You also have two sixes. I love two sixes. Two sixes is kind of like saying you are on the right path, you are going in the right direction. So I would keep doing whatever you're doing here. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups could be a love offer. But Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing. And so with the Eight of Pentacles, it's really important that we're in the flow. And the Ace of Cups is all about being in the flow. And so, to be in the flow, we have to do something that we can do endlessly. And as far as work is concerned, that does not mean that you should be doing it endlessly. It just means, can you work on the things that cause you to enter into the flow? And if you can do that, then things will work much better for you. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this barrier. And then you cannot make this up, you have this flow card. Are you kidding me? I didn't even see that. There you go. So definitely, and the flow card, there's like that string that is pulling the moon down to earth. So pulling the moon down to earth represents manifesting a dream. So I think that for a lot of you, focusing on flow is really where it's at for you. I'll give you a quick example here, Gemini. When I started this channel, I had another business and, I thought that other business was going to get me to where I wanted to go, right? And for like the first few years, I was mostly focused on the business. I wasn't really as focused on this channel. This channel's always just been a hobby that I enjoy, right? And so what I didn't realize at the time is this is my flow right here. Some days I start my readings, I'm tired. By the time I'm done, I'm full of life, I'm full of energy. 'Cause I channel from source, so it gives me tons of energy, right? I am not tired when I'm done with my readings. And so that's what flow means. And what I didn't realize is that if I had followed my flow sooner and I doubled down on this channel sooner, then those first years probably would have grown it a lot faster. So, again, sometimes I think we don't necessarily listen to the flow. I was listening to logic. Logically, maybe according to society, my other business should have been the winner, right? But really, if I listened to the flow, this would have made much more sense to follow the flow. The barrier card, I think, is saying that you are kind of overcoming barriers. The Hermit kind of represents that. You have the Justice card, the Queen of Swords, and the Four of Swords. Justice is justice, and justice can represent cause and effect as well. I would pay very close attention again as to what's working and what's not working in your life, and I would do more of what's working. Of course, with the Justice card, that's what I would pay attention to. The Queen of Swords is clarity, which is very good. So I think a lot of you could be gaining clarity on what's working, what's not working in your life. And, again, this could be helping you get into that flow energy, so things are going to flow much better. And that's what I would pay attention to here. You have the Four of Swords. There is definitely something about resting, relaxing, recovering in this reading. I wouldn't be doing anything where you have to force it to work, right? I would be more doing things that flow. Like I said, the Four of Swords can also represent blessings. There's a person who's blessing another person in this stained glass window. And, that's what I would be focusing on, is things that bring blessings into your life. With the Justice card, you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is the true builder in the tarot. If he doesn't know or, if he comes to an obstacle, he builds something to overcome the obstacle. And that's definitely popping into my head with the Knight of Wands. He's also very spontaneous, and again, I think some of you, we've definitely talked about this before, that you could be getting back to your spontaneous nature. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Sun. Yes, a lot of clarity. And I love readings that go from the moon to the sun, because that is the direction that we want to go in. We want to go from the moon to the sun, because that means that we are leaving a moon period and stepping into a sun period, which is a period of clarity. Love, joy, happiness, peace, just good energy. With the Four of Swords, you have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. It's also happy home, happy family. So definitely could be a lot more happiness and joy entering into your life with the Ten of Cups. And, the Ten of Cups says we have to nurture things that make us happy. Like, we don't just get to be happy in life, we have to make sure we're doing things that make us happy, and that's what I would focus on there. You have this Goldfish card. It says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. Feel both. I mean, the Hermit is spiritual growth because, again, he has had to find his inner light through going through a dark night of the soul. We also see, from left to right, we have more, better financial improvements. So I feel a lot of you are improving your finances. You have this Wreath card. It says family wishes come true. Ten of Cups, Ten of Cups kind of represents some sort of family wish coming true. I feel if you want to have a family, there definitely could be new love. Now, what I would say is I don't think you're meeting love like right now if you don't have it. It doesn't really look like a love reading to me, although there is love here. So, it could be one of those things. Maybe you're dating, maybe you're meeting people. I would definitely recommend it. But, I feel this year you could be finding a person that you form a family with. You have this X card. It says forces are working against you. I feel during Mars retrograde, this is how we feel. It's hard to describe, but Mars retrograde, I think, can make us a little bit more paranoid, maybe, or, can make us feel like there are like unseen forces that are working against us. And it's probably not true. So, I would just say if you feel that way, just say, oh, Mars retrograde, it's not true. I should just get to work and not worry about it. I think the biggest one of the issues with Mars retrograde is that if you're worrying about things, then you're not getting anything done. So I would focus on like what's in front of you right now in this moment and get things done. That's it. You have this teapot. It says deep friendship of the same sex. You have the 10 of Cups, which is amazing for community and working together with your community. So if you have people who support you, those are the people I would be focusing on. You have this flute. It says disappointment, a friend or a lover. Again, I would be very careful of a person who stabbed you in the back with that 10 of Swords, 6 of Cups, 3 of Swords. It's like, do not repeat this, of course. And especially with that North Node in Pisces, weird like karmic energy thing, I would be careful of that. But all in all, I would say you're heading towards improvement. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your time ahead.